and not just the underlying, but the true nature, Nazi nature of the Kyiv regime. It's as if swastika is no longer swastika, and the SS symbols are trying to be justified. They're trying to call it the mistakes of the youth, because they no longer have it in them to hide those symbols. And now Kyiv regime boasts for that. And they're now filled with these symbols. And you can even find it on official internet resources of those who hold state positions. It's difficult to call them state officials, but that's who they try to present themselves as.
And just look how skillfully the overwhelming majority of the global community and the minority who believes itself to be the civilized one, they somehow manage not to recognize this, to turn the blind eye to this. However, I think that they did not merely notice this, but they felt it through to the very bottom. The people, the population of the very Ukraine, against the backdrop of colossal losses in the front line. Those who are hiding in their offices and hiding behind their children, the representatives of Zelensky regime, are increasingly publicly lamenting the mass departure of young Ukrainians aged 18 to 22 abroad after the border was opened for them on August 28 of this year. The mayor of Ivano-Frankovsk, Ruslan Marcinkiv, is openly complaining about the act of shortage of personnel. On October 30 of this year, the ex-commander of the IDAR Punitive Battalion, Yevgen Dicky, included in the list of terrorist organizations banned in Russia, said in an interview with the national media that 10,000 young men who, he said, should have been left in the country and mobilized had left Ukraine in 2 months. Those young men understand quite well that they will be sought after to be brought to slaughter. They cannot turn their back to the neo-Nazi symbols which are hanging everywhere. These young men understand that neo-Nazi talks is not merely a sound and not a propaganda by Russia. This is their daily life, and this is their reality. However, according to Western media, including those citing the Polish border service, the scale of the outflow of young Ukrainians is already about 150,000 people. Potential recruits understand that they have no prospects of remaining in the Ukrainian labor market, and the Kyiv regime has prepared for them only the role of cannon fodder in the name of preserving its own dictatorship. Now, as observers note, the authorities are thinking about closing the border again in the near future, and those who have not had time to leave will most likely be mobilized and sent to the front one way, as you understand. And this is another confirmation of the scale of what is going on over there. The European allies of Zelensky are not very happy about the influx of young Ukrainians. Of course, they encourage Zelensky, but they encourage him to kill the citizens of Ukraine because they do not need them in their countries, they need them in graves. In Germany, the influx of male Ukrainian citizens aged 18 to 22 is growing exponentially. While in August the number was about 20 people per week, in September it exceeded 1,000 people, and in October it varied from 1.5 to 1.8,000. Under these conditions, Berlin has seriously considered adjusting the government's plans to limit payments of benefits to low-income Ukrainian citizens. And now I address the German authorities. Do not restrict yourself. Do not pose any limits. You are responsible for those you have tamed. And this is nothing but it. You have promised in Berlin bright future for citizens of Ukraine, and now you should pay them. I can cite one example. The recent similar decision taken in Poland served as an example. This is not surprising. since the number of Ukrainian refugees in Germany, according to official statistics, is about 1.26 million people. And do you know how much they were paid in 2024 alone? I do hope that citizens of Germany are aware about those numbers, because the German authorities are stealing this very money from their pockets. In 2024, in order to provide for the Ukrainian so-called refugees, German citizens paid 6.3 billion euros in social benefits. No, those are not salaries. Those are just digits in euros to provide for citizens, to provide for the refugees which are doing nothing for the people of Germany. Bavarian Interior Minister Mr. Herman advocated for depriving Ukrainian citizens liable for military service of the right to automatically receive asylum in European Union countries, as he noted the situation when they come to Germany and receive benefits while Kyiv need recruits causes a lack of understanding among many Germans. No, it's not that thing. Say it openly. Germans do not understand, as many other citizens and residents of Western Germany who work a lot, why they are being stolen, why they are being looted in order to sponsor and to provide for the bloody Kyiv regime. The citizens of many Western European states understand, and they see their economies collapsing and their lives collapsing. And usually, those questions were retranslated and represented through mass media in democratic societies. Nowadays, in Western media, these questions are no longer asked. It is in Russia that our president speaks to the people on a regular basis and answers to the questions asked by the citizens of Russia, by the people of Russia. He speaks to them directly. He holds press conferences lasting many hours, answering to the questions of journalists who come from Russia and abroad. And we never refuse foreign journalists to ask a question to President Putin, even if they are provocative. It is in Russia that President Putin holds the direct line. Perhaps in some Western European states, sometimes just one time, ventures and holds the direct line with their own people, and not the election, which are no longer democratic, but a direct line, the question and answer session with their own people. It is only then when they will understand what their own people think about the support of the Kyiv regime paid by their own finance.